All right, let's just jump right in. Welcome to the Explainer. You know that feeling when your bank account is basically a leaky bucket and you just can't figure out how to plug the holes? Well, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we are taking back control of your personal finances. We're going to break down the exact strategies you need to master your money, control your spending, and set yourself up for absolute financial security. It's literally a universal stress, right? You get your paycheck, you feel this amazing brief moment of relief, and then poof, a few weeks later, you're staring at your bank app wondering, where does all my money actually go at the end of the month? It's that incredibly frustrating phenomenon of the vanishing paycheck. But today, our goal is to completely demystify personal finance. We're getting rid of the guesswork and giving you the tools to direct your money exactly where you want it to go. Now, if you feel like you're drowning, brace yourself for this number, $105,580. According to Experian data, that is the average American debt across mortgages, student loans, auto loans, and credit cards. Think about that. That's an entire luxury sports car of debt hanging over the average person. So you're definitely not alone in this struggle. It's an incredibly common trap, but it's one that we are absolutely going to learn how to climb out of today. To get there, here is our roadmap. We'll start with the psychology of spending, then move into practical ways to control spending. From there, we'll tackle crushing debt, building your safety net, and finally putting your money to work. Step by step, we've got this. Section 1, the psychology of spending. Because look, before we can talk about spreadsheets or savings accounts, we have to talk about how our brains actually trick us into losing money. Okay, so have you ever gotten a raise or a bonus, and somehow just a few months later, you still feel completely broke? Yeah, that is called lifestyle creep. As your income grows, it is incredibly tempting to upgrade your lifestyle right along with it. You buy a nicer car, move into a more expensive apartment, maybe start eating out way more often. This quiet incremental upgrade just eats up any new income you make, leaving virtually zero room to actually build wealth or pay down debt. There are really four main psychological drivers pushing us to spend beyond our means. First is emotional fulfillment, using retail therapy to cope with stress or boredom. Then there's social influence, the classic keeping up with the Joneses and buying brands just for perceived status. Marketing tactics play a massive role too, creating false urgency with those flash sales so you buy on impulse. And finally, habitual spending, where those daily subscription services or coffee runs just become automatic drains on your wallet. Section 2, practical ways to control spending. Now that we know the traps, let's shift to the solution. Stop thinking of a budget as a restrictive, miserable financial diet. Instead, frame it as a tool of acute awareness. It's simply telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. One of the absolute easiest ways to start directing your money is the 50-30-20 rule. It's a fantastic, simple baseline for allocating your net income. 50% of your take-home pay goes to your absolute needs: housing, groceries, basic utilities. 30% goes to your wants: dining out, hobbies, the fun stuff. And a strict 20% is carved out immediately for savings and debt repayment. It's incredibly effective because it's totally balanced. But hey, what if you need something a bit more hands-on? Enter Kakeibo. This is a traditional Japanese household financial ledger. The core philosophy here requires prompt manual logging of all your income and expenses. By writing things down physically, you force yourself to slow down and practice actual mindfulness with every single dollar. It's a real game changer. Let's walk through the actual steps of Kakeibo. First, you log your income and fixed expenses to see exactly what you have to work with. Second, you set a savings goal for the month and plan how you intend to reach it. Third, you track your discretionary spending into 4 distinct categories: needs, wants, cultural experiences, and unexpected expenses. And finally, you do a weekly and monthly review. This constant manual check-in builds incredible awareness and dramatically cuts down on impulse buying. Section 3, crushing debt. So you've used these budgeting tools, and you finally freed up some extra cash at the end of the month. This is your crucial next step. Attack high-interest debt aggressively. There are 2 heavy-hitter strategies for this: the debt snowball and the debt avalanche. With the debt snowball, you pay minimums on everything, but throw all your extra cash at your smallest balance first. It gives you quick psychological wins and massive motivation. The debt avalanche, however, attacks the debt with the highest interest rate first. While it might take a bit longer to close out your first account, it is mathematically superior. Let's look at the hard math for a hypothetical $39,000 in debt. If you just make minimum payments, you pay over $37,000 in pure interest, and it takes you 32 years.
But think about the avalanche method. Because it targets the highest interest rates first, you pay off the debt in just 51 months, and your total interest is roughly $12,000. The avalanche method saves you over 25 grand compared to minimum payments, and nearly 3,000 more than the snowball method.
Section 4. Building your safety net. Once you are aggressively crushing that debt, you need to make sure you never fall back into it by building a buffer against life's totally unpredictable disasters. An emergency fund is absolutely non-negotiable. Here are the 5 steps to get it done. Assess your essential monthly expenses. Set a goal of saving 3 to 6 months worth of those expenses. Automate your savings so the money transfers out of your checking account before you even see it. Reallocate any extra funds or windfalls directly into this account. And finally, monitor and adjust as your life circumstances change. This is exactly what keeps a flat tire or a random medical bill from turning into a high-interest credit card disaster. Section 5. Putting your money to work. We are finally moving from simply saving money to using your controlled spending to build long-term wealth that outpaces inflation. When it comes to investing for your future, individual retirement accounts, or IRAs, are incredible vehicles. Let's briefly compare the 2 main types. A traditional IRA uses pre-tax contributions. This lowers your taxable income today, and your investments grow tax-deferred until you withdraw them in retirement, at which point you pay ordinary income tax. A Roth IRA, on the other hand, uses after-tax dollars. You don't get a tax break today, but the magic happens later. Your money grows tax-free, and your withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. Now, you might be wondering, why is getting that money invested so absolutely crucial? Let me introduce you to the rule of 72. If you divide the number 72 by your expected annual interest rate, you'll find out exactly how many years it will take for your money to double. For example, if your investments return an average of 8% a year, 72 divided by 8 is 9. That means your money doubles every 9 years through the incredible power of compound interest. That is literally how your money works for you while you sleep. I want to pull all of this together with a brilliant quote from author Morgan Housel in his book, The Psychology of Money. Wealth has more to do with your money behaviors than how smart you are. Hit the nail on the head, right? This reinforces everything we've talked about in this explainer. Financial success isn't about being a math genius. It is ultimately about the discipline to control your spending habits and direct your behavior toward your goals. So as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this final, provocative question. What is the one story you keep telling yourself about money that is holding you back? Is it that you aren't good with numbers? Or maybe that you deserve to buy that thing you definitely can't afford right now? Identify that story,